Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 1-year anniversary of Authentic Hustle. 52 episodes, 52 weeks, guys. We started this show literally a year ago this week. And what an honor and a privilege to be able to do this for an entire year with you guys. It's been such a great trip so far. We've covered so much ground. If we look at like the last year and everything we've talked about everything from politics to business to mental health to literally Bitcoin, all of it, the full gamut. And it has been an incredible journey so far. Colin is coming to us from his helicopter off the coast of which island, Colin?
Off the coast of Red Deer.
Off the coast of Red Deer. Red Deer, Alberta.
Alberta Beach.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. It's Colin's always on the road, so we got him on the road today. He is being driven around, though. It is a safe situation. It is safe from the back seat this time. Amazing.
Yeah, not like last week. Was that last week? This is a lot more safe.
Yes. Doing the great journey that is the Highway 2.
So, road warrior. Yeah, it's been a crazy year. If you think back 1 year from today, or not quite yet, we weren't even hitting the craziness. It didn't really start till March.
Yeah.
So, we were starting the podcast, and then, within 30 days, North America kind of went wild. We don't need to go down that road because I'll just get angry. But we all know why.
Yes. We ended up doing a show right around that time called Divided Canada, United Voices. So for those of you listening, you can go back and check that one out. It ended up being our most downloaded show ever. I think we ended up having something like 40,000 views or something of that particular show. So yeah, definitely got some traction.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Well, Colin, I wanted to just chat with you guys today a little bit about the journey so far. For you, it's been your first year of podcasting. So I thought it actually might be fun for some of our listeners who are maybe picking it up for the first time. Maybe they're starting a podcast this year. What has your experience been like with Authentic Hustle so far?
Yeah, it's been good. Pretty interesting. I like the flow. I like the randomness of the Authentic Hustle. As far as podcasting goes, I listen to a lot of podcasts all week, probably something every day anyway. And I try to gauge, now I listen with a different ear. Like I'm like, oh, maybe that's something we could do, or, what attracts me to a podcast is what's most important and what keeps me coming back. So those are the important things. So over the year, what have we done that's been good? It's all trial and error because it's raw footage every week.
Yeah.
Which is fun at the same time. So yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed getting to know you guys on a different level because you guys have no option but to be yourself, because we don't know what the topic's going to be. If it was a preset set list, if you will, you can kind of say whatever you want and you can pre-script it. And sometimes that's good if you're teaching or if it's a vocational thing. But I do like the authentic part of today's the day and let's live it.
Absolutely. And Vijay, you came to this with obviously a podcasting background. You've been in business a long time, but what was this kind of live experience like for you so far?
No, nothing at all. I mean, at the time when we started, Pathfinders was very, very new, and the show was just getting started. And I thought every episode I learn a lot. Sitting with you guys, and there's something new, some new topic that we talk about, and it opens our mind and brains in a different direction, and how the show is perceived. Authentic is a totally different show than what we do with Pathfinders and other initiatives. But I mean, 1 year, I cannot believe it feels like we just started yesterday.
Yeah.
It's already a year, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. What I wanted to say is it doesn't have to be always right. I say a lot of things with what's the right word? I say a lot of things with conviction, but I don't have to be right. I don't have to be wrong. But at the time, what I think is the best, I trust to be true, is what I've shared. And for anyone listening, it goes the same way. So yeah, I'm not perfect. I could have said something which is right. I could have said something which is wrong. But if you found value, I think I'm super happy. That's all.
I think if you look at it for what this show really is, we are three entrepreneurs, three everyday entrepreneurs, right? Just out there doing the best we can in this world. We're coming to this from our own experience, which is, I think, maybe the fun of this show is that, I'm right there with Vijay. I don't have all the experience in the world. I can't speak to every topic like an expert, but I can speak to my views on it. I can speak to what I know. And I think we've showed up every single week doing that. And I think that's the true value of this show, right? We want all of you to come to your own conclusions on anything that you guys learn about. If we talk about something, we probably don't know everything about it. It makes sense to go back and double check and do your own learning for you. But I think, we know as much as the average person on a lot of things. And I think that's what makes this show fun, because we show up every week and we just chat about stuff. This week, I'm excited to maybe dive into something that I just learned about, which was the Optimus robot. So yes, I have had my head in the sand. But I saw a video and it blew my mind. So I'm excited to kind of chat with you guys about that today. I think that's a cool episode 52 1-year anniversary topic. But before we lead into that, I just want to say thank you guys very much for going on this journey with me, this live show journey that we've now done for a full year, 52 weeks in a row. We missed 1 week for Christmas, so there's one missing, but it's pretty much been 52 full weeks. So it's been a pleasure. It's an honor co-hosting with both of you.
Likewise, man. Likewise, Kelly, Colin. Yeah, absolute pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's 1 year. I had so much fun. There's some days like I feel like, oh, it's already Wednesday. Probably 1 or 2 weeks I felt like I didn't want to do it, but almost like 50 out of 52 weeks because that was on the business journey that we are in. It gets super lonely, super frustrating sometimes. But every week I look to Wednesdays, and it's like a therapy session, like we have shared before. But yeah, thank you so much, and I appreciate you both so much. And I think we have said that a lot. Let's get into Optimus now.
Okay, let's talk about Optimus Prime here. Yeah. Elon's latest invention. Wow. All I can say is that I haven't been paying attention to robots. I've been working on business development. But the other day, I was sitting down and I had a pop-up show up on YouTube, and it was Elon's Optimus robot or something like that. And I watched like 30 minutes of this video, and it absolutely blew my mind. I left that video thinking there are going to be no jobs left. Like, if it's not a human-to-human required interaction, jobs are done. Because this robot can move like a human, learn like a human. It can literally watch you do something and then repeat that task. It's like, holy cow. And then it was so funny because I was talking to Shelby about it. I sent her the video and I'm like, babe, like, look at this. And she's like, we are not having one of those in our house. Could you imagine how scary it would be to wake up at like 3 a.m. and have one of these big robots in your room? I was like, holy crap. It's literally the plot for iRobot.
You know what, though? It could let my dog out to pee in the middle of the night.
That's right.
Or I could have a Optimus dog, and it would let it.
Yeah, just get the dog that lives forever. Yeah, I don't know. What's your take on it? For the listeners who are hearing about this for the first time, Vijay, I know you know more about this than the rest of us. Explain to them what the Optimus robot is.
I mean, I've been following Elon for a long while, and I've seen him get crazy, and he's seen him not crazy. And I think he's one of the best entrepreneurs out there. But at the same time, it comes with bells and whistles, right? So there are good things, and yeah, so you'll have to cautiously also ignore the noise. But with Optimus, I think it's already there among us. We don't just realize it. It's called a product called Tesla. So he calls it robots on wheels already. So it's already a robot that's already functioning with full self-driving and whatnot. This is just a different version of it with the same kind of algorithm that can walk and do different things based on our instruction and how it can perceive things. I mean, some use case I think I saw recently is like taking care of, like, if you want to take care of old people at home, if we want to take care of young children, and right. So the things that gets really mundane and difficult to do, I think Optimus goes a long way, and the cost point is very affordable. I think from $25,000 is like a very affordable price point. At least I think every house will have it. That's a prediction, and the scale at which they're creating is like, there'll be more than 8 billion of these robots in the planet. That's where they are going with this.
It's funny because I saw it and immediately my mind went to that thing looks just like iRobot. From the iRobot movie with Will Smith, where the robots go crazy. But
Right.
I was like, oh my gosh, like it's very close. The face is a little different, obviously, but it's like very close in the way that it looks. It literally resembles almost the iRobot robots. And I was like, holy crap, like that is crazy. I don't know, man. Like the scary thing about that is, and we have to talk about this, if he starts producing 1 million of these robots a year, which I could be wrong, straight up, I don't have the facts, but it kind of sounded like that was the scope and scale that it had to be produced at in order to essentially sell these things at $25,000 USD. At 1 million of these robots a year, that is bigger than like some of the world's largest armies in robots.
Yeah, that's a lot of immigration.
Right? Yeah, like what's your take? I don't know. What's your take on that? Because I kind of feel like we're talking about a robot that can ultimately be trained to do anything that a human can do, can watch a human do something and then just repeat it. Who's to say these things don't become soldiers?
Well, you know what? I look at it this way. You know, we used to say, even myself, I would say, no, it's not going to happen that quickly. And then the McDonald's restaurants of the world, you know, got rid of tellers and then went to multiple kiosks or whatever. I was in a McDonald's last week and I walked in, it'd just been revamped. There's one kiosk, not multiple, and there's one till with a human. And it's like they expanded the dining room, if you call it a dining room at McDonald's. But very impersonal, very, you know, they're one person away from having no people.
Yeah.
Right? And then on the back end, but I don't want to be that person, but your quality control probably goes way up, right? Your customer service, I know there's no human touch, but it's not flawed, right? There's nothing missed in the equation. And I look at it like if I'm hiring employees or, you know, trying to enhance a manufacturing line, increase productivity, that type of thing, it's fail safe. That is the way it's going to go. If we program it incorrectly, it would make mistakes, but there'll be, you know, parameters in there so we don't do that. But for me, I think it's we live in a productivity world. I'm a capitalist. I'm a business person. How can we do more of what we do faster and better?
Well,
Right?
and I think for you specifically, you know, let's talk about you run a manufacturing line, right?
Right.
Like for you, you could technically train these robots to do everything that people are doing. And then at some point, it's like now you have a 24/7 operation that doesn't take days off ever.
Yeah. And for me, it's a little different because the automotive industry has been doing it for a long time. Some autonomous, some not, very human related, but going away from it. So for me to add it in, it's not new, but it will be in a smaller setting, and maybe that's where we're going to see it, right? Like I'm not a factory of 2,000 people or 6,000 people. You know, we have a handful of people, but those handful of people are probably more at risk, right? To either learning a different skill, learning how to work with those robots, or unfortunately just not having a job.
Yeah.
Right. And we do have a number in manufacturing. Our mistakes are human mistakes.
Yes.
Right? Something's put in the machine the wrong way. Something's bent the wrong way. You know, if we look at it on a monthly basis, it's considerable, right? I think what do they call that in grocery stores where they throw out so much food and that type of thing? They've got a term for it. We have the same thing where we're wasting thousands of dollars, right, per quarter in mistakes. If a robot costs me $25,000 or $50,000, well, our ROI is like almost instant.
Yeah.
Right? Like that day, it starts making a difference.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, guys. And I think maybe the part that surprised me is that we're not that far away from this. Like, I think in theory, you could start seeing these robots within a couple years, and within 5, 6, 8, they might be absolutely everywhere, especially at that price point, right? Like
Yeah.
$25,000, that's cheaper than most cars today.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. We need to start putting a fact check button on our podcast, right? Because when I say something, I'm sure that's wrong. That's made up.
Once again, our experience.
But if you say you walked into a Starbucks and they're sloshing their milk around and doing what they do, the mess behind the scenes, right? Because people like that. I've read that people like that atmosphere, and that's why they have the humans doing with the jug of milk as opposed to a machine. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that those days are limited. They can make it look like that, but a robot can make you no different than an instant machine that makes a coffee at the 7-Eleven is the same thing. It's a robot. It's making it, but now somebody can hand it to you, right? And it can do all of that quicker. And let's not be fooled. People say, well, it takes away from the human touch, that type of thing. They'll get there. They will get there, right?
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's
100%.
like I was at the Sphere in Vegas, and they have quite a few of those. For example, talking to you and looking at you, and analyzing you, obviously through learning through data. But I know my business partner John was beside me, and the robot said, "Excuse me, sir," and we were kind of looking around. Yeah, you with the nice goatee, right? And then and then it was like he was staring through my soul.
Oh man, yeah, we are really close.
I embrace better, or I embrace better situations, or better outcomes, regardless if it's in person, transactions. I still want a better relationship. And I'll give you an example. I walked into a hose fitting place last week. Somebody had asked if I could stop and pick something up. I said, yeah, you know what, I will. I went in there. There was a customer sitting on a stool waiting for something. I could tell I know this place. All the employees were in the back, and I could hear them talking and doing whatever. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do a test. So I started my watch, and 20 minutes, I looked at everything in their little showroom I could. I walked outside, the antiquated bell, right? Ding, ding, somebody's here. Nobody comes out. So finally I thought, you know what, I am going to phone this business. So I phoned. It's echoing through their warehouse. I can hear the phone. And the guy runs out in front of me, like right here. And he answers the phone and says, I won't say the business. Good morning. And I said, hey, it's Colin from Hypervac. Oh, hey, how can I help you? I said, I'm actually standing in front of you. I've been here for 20 minutes and I'm trying to pick up an order. What? What do you mean? I go, look up. He looks at me and I hang my phone up and he's like, hello? Hello? And I said his name and he knows who I am. I said, I've been here for 21 minutes now and you guys are in the back and nobody has come out. Oh yeah, got a couple of orders. He waltzes back, comes back, puts them on there. I sign it. I look at the guy sitting there who still hasn't been helped, right? And I'm like, there has to be a better way. Nobody phoned me to say, hey, sorry for the shitty service. That really sucked, because they don't care, right? But I would prefer, say that was me picking up those parts or they weren't being delivered. I'd rather go up to a locker that I punch a code in and pull my parts up myself. Don't talk to anyone. And it was 20 seconds versus 21 minutes. And to me, if I was on the other end of that counter, I would have been horribly, even if it wasn't my business, I would be so embarrassed. And I didn't do it to embarrass them. I'm like, hey, I actually would appreciate, I don't want to come back here and I don't want to pay an employee to go back there once I've been there.
Yeah.
Right. So people say, well, they're going to get rid of jobs. Yeah, 100% they are. Right. That situation 6 months or a year from now probably won't happen. And then the next day, often when I'm going somewhere, I'll say, does anybody need anything? Right. I have the freedom to do that. And somebody said, could you stop at Home Depot? So I'm like, oh, frick, that's a long walk in. Yeah, I will. I'll go in. So I went to the counter and she says, you know what? This is amazing. We now have these lockers and your order's actually in the locker. Let me show you. And she showed me how she's not going to have a job in 6 months.
Oh,
right? Without knowing it. And all she did was
Yeah.
punch a code. Our order was in there. I took it. I said, thanks very much. And I left. Which one of those scenarios was better? The Home Depot. Which one of them is going to have no humans? Both of them.
Yeah. It's really, really interesting because me and you we went for breakfast this morning, myself and you and Jory, and we were talking about how essentially like we were talking specifically about like Walmarts and large scale distribution centers and how it won't be long until you won't go to those places. They will all be delivering to your home, period. Yeah. They'll either be landing with helicopters in your backyard, dropping off your air conditioner, or they will be, a person will maybe go, like a delivery driver will simply pick up your stuff and have it to your house in an hour or 2 hours. Yeah. But like there will be no need to actually go to these large big box stores in order to get your products anymore. Right. Like that'll be a thing of the past.
Well, let's use this example. Let's just say your son Jet, he's 2. He's just 2 years old. Yeah. Let's say he's never been in a Toys R Us store, right? And so his environment now is completely different. All he knows is that I hop in the vehicle with mom and dad and I go to this 40,000 square foot locker room, right? I've ordered it online and it's not getting delivered for whatever. That's an experience. And all he knows is that he goes and punches in a code and he takes his toy out or whatever it is, or a piece of clothing or that type of thing. They're not going to go, oh, I wish it was like 1800, right? Like, I wish it went.
Yeah, they have no reference point.
They have no reference point for what it was. So why would they even want that? And if you said, can you imagine a world where you rode around on a horse and, everything had not evolved yet? Why would you ever go back to that? You wouldn't. Yeah. If you look from 1950 to where we are today, right? 76 years, whatever it is. Why would you go back? Right? Like the good old days to me aren't the good old days. So yeah, I love technology and I love embracing it because for me, freedom is having more time to do what I choose to do. So if I don't have to do that whole runaround, I'm creating a bunch of freedom for myself.
Yeah. VJ, what's your kind of take on what's coming?
No, I think I completely agree with Colin. I think, especially in future, what I'm seeing is in the US, I see more lawfare in terms of, have you seen the sign where it says like caution, the floor is wet? They put that out because like if someone slips and falls, they're going to sue the business, right? For instance, so like that, like million scenarios where a person can actually sue a business in different ways and formats, right? So those kind of things will actually come way down because like the robots will do it way more efficiently. And not just McDonald's, Walmart, and so many other places. It is going to, the customer service quality is going to massively increase, which I can already see. And many of these jobs are meant to be automated, actually. I mean, no offense to anyone. I think they love the job and everything. But like, what can you do better with your time, right? Instead of like doing the same thing a million times. So a machine can do it way better than a human can. So I think I see that coming. I see that happening. Including driving the vehicle, right? Which the Tesla robots will be doing. And so I'm definitely excited for that future. I completely agree with from where Colin is coming. And so, don't be stuck in the loop of like, okay, I'm going to lose my job. Those are not the jobs meant for humans anyway. That's how I see it. Yeah. Because many of these jobs are meaningless jobs in first place. So I'm definitely excited for that future. I think where the time is limited for humans, not for machines. So machines are going to stay for almost forever. But I think what can you do better with your limited amount of time on this planet is what I'm excited for.
It's funny because when you're talking about that, I just think of like cars and how the eventual end for every car is in basically a junkyard somewhere.
Right.
And I can just picture this robot junkyard of like humanoid robots piled a mile high. The next job will be robot recycling.
Right. You know what? That's actually not a bad business to think about. Thanks for that idea. go by that
You're
website. 'Cause
welcome.
you know you're faster at it than I am.
Yeah, robot recycling.
Right? And you know what?
Yeah,
That's
that's
great too.
absolutely coming.
It is coming because you look at, I'll use something like a wind turbine, right? Like there's a very, very short lifeline on those things. And then you're looking at what's the next step. And I'm always looking at what's the next business or opportunity for that. And that actually is a massive one. It's like a cemetery for robots, right? But it's e-waste is all it is. It's
Right?
electronic waste.
That's creepy. That's creepy to think about.
Yeah. Right. And then you'll have those
Yeah.
old businesses that still have grandpa robot in the back room, right? Working slowly and there's no parts for it, right?
Yeah. When that one's done, it's done.
Right? Yeah. For sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And I think about Jet a lot when I think about this new world that's coming because he won't have anything to compare it to. And as a millennial, I look at just the change that's happened in my life.
Right.
And I mean, for everyone on this call too, it's unbelievable, really. Like, if I go back to the early 90s, we had a Nintendo, a NES, and that was like top end technology at that time. Super Nintendo, I guess, would have been the pinnacle of video gaming. And we picked up a new game for the boys. It makes me so sick. I love VR, but God, does it make me sick. But we picked up this latest flying game called Aces of Thunder. It's friggin' cool. You can probably play it for 5 minutes before puking, but it's cool. But you put on this VR headset and you are in the cockpit of a plane and you can look around and there's trees. And I kid you not, when you turn, you feel like you're turning. When you pull back, you feel like you're going up, like your whole body feels it. And it's just such I don't even know, a mind F. Let's call it a mind F. Yeah. Because your brain can't tell the difference that you are not in an airplane. It even does the same feelings, but your body knows, and it really makes you sick. But point is, we went from NES, my very first video game experience would have been a Mario 1 to that in, call it 30 years. So my God, like his life, the comparisons he'll be able to make will be like, oh yeah, we had the simulator where you put these goggles on, you could fly this plane. It was super cool. Now you literally it builds the whole thing around you in this VR simulation that is like a whole room or something when he's 30, right?
So here's something. We got a couple minutes left. I just thought about when you were saying with Jet, and just think about when he enters education, right? And the difference would be if you have a robot teaching you, right?
Yeah.
Programmed. It can have no, it doesn't have emotions. I think they say they can train them, but it can download whatever curriculum there is, right? This is what it's going to be. What is very good about it is there's not a whole bunch of gray area. It's not going to be, I don't want to get all political here, but it's not going to be steered to the left or to the right or center. It's going to be whatever that curriculum is on any teaching platform, right? And that's
what's interesting?
I sign up for, right? So you think about him, his grade 1 teacher could be a robot.
Yeah,
right? Or
very possible.
Whatever that is, right? And I've heard about it as well in the judicial system. Like if you go up to a judge, it's going to be, that type of thing. AI is going to take care of it, a robot. And if you got a DUI and you were driving drunk, it shouldn't be discretionary, right? Here's the penalty. If you did this, here's the penalty, right? It's not how the judge feels that day. It's not how you had more money to hire a different, defense counsel or whatever it may be. The other one is because I deal with real estate a lot. They're talking about the legal part of it is that can be very, very easily automated as well. It's a matter of boxes needing to be checked. Do you have these documents? Ding, ding, ding. File completed. There it is, right? Mm-hmm. That's no longer a $250 or $500 an hour thing. The ones who are smart though, say I own that platform. Well, I'd still charge that. It would just be done smoother and cleaner and quicker, and I wouldn't need people in an office to do it. So anyway, 1 minute. I'll let somebody else wrap it up. I've said a lot today.
VJ, close us out.
yeah, I don't know what the closing thoughts are. Like, super excited for 1 year. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next week. I just got blank suddenly, so
That's okay.
thanks for tuning in.
It's been an honor and a privilege, and thank you guys for an incredible year.
Thanks very much. Looking forward to another year.
Yeah, safe drive, folks.
Later,
Yeah, bye-bye.
hustlers.